So in this segment, we're going to be discussing Starmer kind of pushing cronies and failed politicians into the House of Lords. And I do find it ironic that this was the same or similar stuff they criticised Boris Johnson for. Boris Johnson going far more aggressive with it by getting in Evgeny Lebedev, which definitely deserves criticism. But, there were a lot of peerages given up by the Tories for nonsense activities, for, donors and things like that. It's the system of the House of Lords really does need abolishing. If only there was a politician who promised that. Oh, wait, this Keir Phillip did. I believe he's Prime Minister now, but he reneged on this and said he was going to reform it, and they've barely done anything in that regard, and all they're going to do is stack it full with more people, more lords effectively. So I imagine that these people that have just been selected to be in the House of Lords don't want to be there just for 5 years. They want to be there for life. So I doubt Starmer's going to get rid of the House of Lords anytime soon. So if we actually have a listen to what Goodall was saying about this.
Keir Starmer said, "I will abolish the House of Lords to restore trust in politics." 2 years later, he appoints 30 new peers to the House of Lords. What
This is year one. 30 new lords in year one.
changed in that time?
Well, we're taking real steps to reform and bring about big changes.
No, but he said he'd abolish it. He said he would abolish it.
Look, we remain committed to a big change in the House of Lords in the future. Absolutely.
What kind of change though? Like, what do you actually want to do?
Introducing 30 new peers to the House of Lords, he is lessening trust in politics, not least because he just doesn't do what he says he's going to do.
He is still committed to that. He really believes that.
When?
Well, we're getting rid of 90 at the moment,
and adding 30.
So it's going
so
smaller.
Down 60.
So it's going smaller, and we've got other reforms that we said we would do in the short term. But look, as the person,
why don't you just name them? If you know what these great reforms are going to be and these things in the pipeline, you're a government minister. Surely you should know
whose job it is to work out how to best use our parliamentary time, which is very limited.
Why does he always say this stuff and then not do what he says he's going to do? That's the problem, isn't it?
He's right. That is the problem. He backs out of stuff all the time, consistently. And you got this person here, Jane Featherstone, asking, am I the only one wonders whether Lewis Goodall was turning a bit right wing? And this is one of the things they don't get, because he's criticising the government, and this is something he mentions as well, just because you criticise another party or a new government doesn't make you right wing or left wing. This is one of the most stupid takes I've ever heard. These people have no sense of nuance. These are the same people who think if you criticise Labour you're immediately Tory or you're immediately Reform or something like that. How stupid are you? And she comes back and says, it's just the mainstream media have relentlessly undermined literally everything the government has done since getting into power. I mean, that's not really true, is it? Some outlets have offered extreme criticism, as they always do. But in terms of offering general criticism, what do you want them to do? Say, oh, well done, another masterful play from the Knight, as he takes away money from pensioners, as he keeps the 2-child cap. Honestly, some people are just completely the brain is not there, honestly. And you got Thangam Debonair, who was a failed politician who was voted out by her constituency, saying, I'm honoured to be asked to join the House of Lords. I'm grateful to the Prime Minister for giving me this opportunity to serve the country and support the Labour government he leads to transform the UK. So it's a bit awkward that, considering her own constituents didn't want her. She was voted out effectively.
You made a great deal of play when you were in opposition about the previous government appointing people because they were part of the then Prime Minister's circle and so on and so forth. And I wonder whether there's any part of you that has any pause for thought that it might look to the untutored observer that you're doing exactly the same thing that you criticised others for.
Well, I'm not sure what criticisms particularly were put in there, but there were general
Boris
questions
Johnson,
being asked probably by the media
the two young peers
around
appointed,
others.
you were all over it.
The 24-year-old. I guess you could argue with Thangam Debonair, she is a politician. But what use is she in the House of Lords when you have, the whole point of the Lords, I think, was meant to be people with expertise and people that have achievements. Her biggest achievement was giving over her seat to the Greens. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You said they weren't worthy
but
of it.
Right. I don't know that I did. But look, I think the point being that what we've now brought in is a system where you do have to put a proper citation in about why someone...
So why did you bring her in?
...deserves a peerage. And what tends to happen with House of Lords appointments is it's people sort of in the twilight of their career, if you like, or later in the career. Aisha is one of the exceptions. I know she's in the studio with you today.
But that's the point, isn't it? You're meant to bring people who've actually got achievements. Generally, you get those kind of big achievements later on in life, or at least you're honoured for your big achievements later on in life. It's just silly. This answer is silly. And this is Thangam Debonair talking about, cronies.
Rewarding cronies, and that's just not on. And Keir Starmer would never do that. He would never exploit the honour system to do what Boris Johnson has done. This has been rewarding cronies.
It's awkward, isn't it? Because she's gone to bat for them in the media. No doubt Jonathan Ashworth will probably get one. I wouldn't be surprised. But, isn't democracy great?
Thangam Debonair, who was mooted to be on this list. Well, Thangam Debonair will be in the Lords. She was, of course, MP for Bristol West, but lost her seat in the general election.
So all of the people who are mad about EU bureaucrats and all of that kind of nonsense, right? We have a system where you can literally bring in failed MPs. This person was voted out by her constituency. They did not like her, and yet here she is back again. You got Sue Gray, who's been given a peerage as well. I think that's just to kind of placate her, given the whole mess of her being fired or, demoted and things like that because of the Mac Daddy Morgan McSweeney. And the last bit on this, you got Michael Crick saying it's outrageous that 38 new peers have been appointed to the Lords, jobs for life, without any public scrutiny whatsoever, and there seems a strong Camden bias in the list, maybe because Starmer is a Camden MP. It's also outrageous that Reform, who got 14% of the vote in July, and the Greens, who got 6.7%, 21% between them, didn't get a single new peerage. I don't think that's that outrageous, to be honest with you, because I think the whole system is dumb. But, he points out with Labour, with 33% of the vote, gave themselves 30 new jobs for life, with lots more to come. It's just, is this what I'm talking about here? Like, how outraged were you when Boris Johnson did this? I'm just as outraged. Like, it's crazy behaviour, and it's like, as soon as you criticise Labour, what about when the Tories were there? Why didn't you criticise them? And it's like, genuinely, brain dead people who just Team Red. Team Red. That's all they see. It's a sports game. But no, I think they deserve a lot of criticism. I don't think Thangam Debonair, I don't think anyone who's been voted out by their constituents deserves to be in the House of Lords. Genuinely not. Like, what have you done to achieve apart from what have you achieved in your life apart from failure that we should reward you for? Like, what are you going to add to the House of Lords apart from how to lose your seat and become an unelected bureaucrat? It doesn't make sense. But anyways, I want to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.